Alright, welcome back. It's now time to keep working on the turtles. So let's grab our paints and sling it. Hi, Paint Slinger here. So apparently my continuing Raph video series hit a few glitches, but we're going to pick it up mid-thought right about the midpoint of the video. Sorry about that, guys. It's a new system and I'm learning how to use it better. Nothing wrong with that at all. I kind of like to jump around and just get little bits of paint on a little bit of everything. I do say so though, that so far I've been really impressed with how these turtles, the sculpts of the turtles are looking. I'm quite happy with them. And as I had mentioned before, right now IDW is actually having a new Kickstarter for their new Turtles standalone slash expansions. I think one is called City Fall, and I can't remember the name of the other one. And I'm sorry if anybody happened to be watching out there and is signed up for it or is, in for it. Let us know in the comments what the other one is called. On over the wrap, and that's okay. We can fix it later. It's the one great thing about painting miniatures. If it's a screw up, you can fix it later. And plus, sometimes maybe something you weren't intending to do happen on your miniature, and that's just like, wow, that is super cool. It's not what I was looking to do, but I think I'll keep it. As another famous painter said, there's no accident, or there's no mistakes, there's only happy little accidents. And I think all y'all know who I'm talking about. Right now, Raph is a very bright green. Well, that's okay. He looks good bright green right now. We'll get that all fixed up. And as you can see, I'm actually building them up. There we go. I'm building them up in layers. I'm not just doing a straight coat. I'm taking my time doing three or four thin coats, building up the color, building up the green over top of the darker green. Finding where those muscle definitions are, finding out where those crevices are. Now, you don't have to go this far with yours. You can go as far or as little as you want to. Pretty much say it every episode, but I'll keep on saying it. These are your miniatures. Well, not these ones. But the ones that you have, those are yours. You can paint them however you want, to whatever level you want, or not even paint them. It's all up to you. Now, I was talking with somebody recently, and they're like, well, what if I want to paint my army or my miniatures, depending on what it is? What if I want to paint them, say, purple with yellow polka dots or something? I'm like, yeah, and? There's no right way or wrong way to paint a miniature. The only way I'd say that there's a wrong way to paint a miniature is if you were following a paint scheme that somebody has already put out. Then you're like, well, I don't want them to be the blue. I want them to be, green instead of the blue. I don't like that blue. Well, then you're not following their paint scheme, and now what you're looking to do is wrong. But now you've created your own paint scheme for your own miniatures, and have at her. And that's about the only way I can consider painting a miniature wrong. And you don't have to be, even as good as I am, and I don't consider myself necessarily one of the top painters in the world. Actually, in fact, I know I'm not one of the top painters in the world. Are you having fun, and do you like what you're doing? If the answer is yes, then hey, you have a hobby. Do you like what you're doing? Or do you not like what you're doing? Then we call that a full-time job. No, I'm kidding. A lot of people out there actually really like their jobs that they have. Alright, so you kind of see how the light part of the skin and the dark part of the skin are kind of contrasting, so you can see how the muscles start to come out. There we go. Hey, the cameraman just needs to wake up. Hey, focus, guy. There you go. You can kind of see how it's starting to take shape. There you go. All right. He's looking pretty good, I think, anyway. Some of the lines are a little blurry because of the molding of the miniature, but that's okay. Kind of put the paint down and hope for the best. There. Now the legs are coming nicely. We haven't even started up on the head yet. Why don't we do that? We'll take a second. We'll pop up onto the head. And get some green laid out there for his dome and his face. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what happened, but that's okay. Here we are, back in the studio, painting Raph. More of the skin is finished, and we're going to see if we can't finish it a little bit more. Moving on here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to get the paint ready. Swoop. Get the paint out of the top. And then continue on with making Raph as pretty as we can. What do you say? So what I'm doing is I'm just finding and filling as much of the muscle mass or the exposed skin as possible. Now, if you don't get it all, you don't get it all. I mean, some of it's kind of tucked underneath the shells or underneath the armpits, and you might not either want to or possibly be able to get up in there and get it. That's okay. If you can't get your brush there, 10 to 1, it's not going to be seen. So it's okay. It's quite okay. So I think we're doing okay there. Loose hairs in the brush bristles. Mine are my cats. Doesn't matter. Doesn't belong there, so out it goes. What we're going to do is we're going to get the tops of the muscles anyway up to a nice solid green, and you can see that I've done that with most of his skin already. But now it's just going over and making sure that the rest is up to snuff too. And you might be asking yourself, hey, the Slinger's not using the handle like you did on some of the other stuff that he's painted. You're right. This one's a little bit softer plastic, and the pinch power on the handles kind of caused the base to sort of warp. I've kind of straightened it out, but it's still, you know, a little warped. It's not too bad. So this one we have to do the old-fashioned way and just go by holding it in your hand. Which is, you know, it's not going to hurt the miniature any. Not at all. Okay. So now I'm doing the hands and the fingers. And if it's a little sloppy around points, that's okay, because this is, you know, this is the skin. And there are wrappings and there are weapons, so even if you go over top of some of the wrappings or go over onto the weapons, that's okay, because the next colors are gonna cover up what you've done. Okay. Make a wee bit of a mess, and that's perfectly acceptable. You don't have to try and be as neat off the bat. Once we get into some of the more, once you get into some of the other colors, you will have to change. You know, we'll have to change up the game, and we'll have to get a little bit neater, a little bit, you know, pay attention a little bit more that that we're not getting quite on everything. Now, I just have to say, for all, you know, for all of us turtle fans out there, I've actually had the awesome honor and opportunity to meet Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of the Turtles. Very nice fella. If you ever have a chance to actually get to meet him, I highly suggest it. Unfortunately, I did not get to show him any of my painted miniatures, because these came out after I met him. No sweat. Anyway, we got most of the forearm and the hands done. Still kind of picking out the details, or picking out the musculature. There we go. Okay, so now if we take a look at our man, our turtle with, you know, issues. See if we can get the camera to focus in on it. Sometimes it wants to, sometimes it don't. Well, you can sort of see anyway. I was really hoping. There we go. There we go. So now you can kind of see how the musculature, how I've, you know, left some of the musculature a little bit darker. It's starting to come together pretty good. What do you guys think? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give his skin just a quick wash. And what it's going to do is going to add a little bit of a brown tinge to him, as well as pulling in the muscles. And we don't use that brush for it. So now we just find the right one. And that's the one we're going to use for the skin shade right there. A bit of a shake. By the way, do you like my wall of paint? It's very cool. I love the new paint storage system from Citadel Paints. You can find them probably at most of your local hobby stores. Okay. I'm going to take our Raph. We're just going to give them kind of an all-over wash. This one here, you don't have to be nice at all. Slap it on there. If you get it on other stuff, that's okay, because you gotta clean that up anyway. Just slap it on there, get it in there, and you'll find that it'll hit all of your lowlights and all your crevices for his muscles. It'll look real good when he's all dried and done. Also, the great things with washes is if you find that you've got too much wash in one particular area, and you don't want quite that much, all you got to do is wait to either empty out your brush or empty out the brush by squeegeeing a little bit back, and then your brush will just kind of automatically soak up the stuff that you've left. There you go. Oh, don't forget a toad. Yeah, he's gonna look pretty badass when he's all done. There we go. So again, you can kind of see, you know, how it's starting to settle into all the different muscle groups. It's going to give it that nice, lovely, defined look. So when we come back after this, he should be all dried, and we're ready to be going to the next stages, which is the wrappings and the wrappings in the front shell. And we'll get him on his way, and hopefully it'll be, you know, all good. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks. It's good skin tone for him, I think. There we go. Alright. So, until next time, paint safe, everybody. And don't be afraid to take chances and take risks.